Hey, welcome to Brighter Rays this week, and today we are starting a study called An Outrageous Thing, and it's from Genesis 34, 1 through 31. And remember, always read the scripture before you get into the study. You want to know what I'm talking about, you should always read the passage first. And so when we get into it, you know, and you need to study for yourself, right? You need to know exactly where we're coming from. So chapter 34 is one of those ones that you should read before we get into this. When you commit through working through a book of the Bible, there's days, these days will come, these weeks will come when you're studying through a portion of scripture. There are some stories in the Bible that are just, they're hard to read, and some of the commands, make us a little unsettled. Some of the stories, the narratives are a little, they describe a lot of sin, a lot of depravity, just a lot of evil. And the story we have today is one of those stories. There's nothing pleasant about the story, and there are really no bright spots. There's no winners. There's no shining examples of faithfulness to God. There's no heroes in the story. And it's really just an honest look at just a dark spot, a dark time in the history, in the life of Jacob. But we know that God is always faithful. God is always protecting his people. God is always watching over them. Sometimes he allows God's people to do bad things. And there's consequences that will come from that. And even sometimes God will mediate the consequences. But God is faithful, despite the actions of all the men involved in this story that we're going to look at. First, we're going to see Jacob's inaction, his inaction, as Dinah is taken, and Jacob holds his peace. Very interesting, very interesting. Not sure if I would be in that same mindset if that happened. Then we find a marriage proposal from Shechem and a counterproposal from Jacob's sons. And then finally we find just a multiplication of sins over and over again as the story concludes and the evil heart of man is exposed. And we just see sinfulness in all the people that are involved in the story. Jacob is not exempt from just his was more than inaction, his sins of omission. He should be doing something, but he's not doing anything. So we're going to see that in this study, a very interesting story. So read Genesis chapter 34, verses 1 through 31. Read the whole chapter, and you'll get that story. And come back tomorrow, and we will begin our study here, looking through this outrageous thing.